I don't have a script for this video. I'm not sure exactly what I want to say about Windy Tales. I just know I want to talk about it. Because I want to make a video about Windy Tales. I stumbled across this anime at a convention, literally just a DVD complete set, and the box art looked really interesting. And so I picked it up to find out what it was and started watching it and was immediately entranced. You're seeing images of it now as I talk, and you can tell this is not your typical anime series. The visual style of Windy Tales is somewhat abstract, very visually distinctive, very visually different. But what I found with Windy Tales is that while it appears to be on the pretty far edge of experimentalism when it comes to anime, especially in terms of traditional TV anime, it's actually a slice of life series. And in some ways, it is more a slice of life series than a lot of shows that I see talked about as slice of life. There is some plot in the early episodes, and I won't spoil what that is. But suffice to say that once that plot is addressed, most of the rest of this series is entirely episodic. And it is entirely about these teenage girls experiencing life. There's no big plot. There's no big something happening. There's no dread. There's no mystery. It's just little moments in characters' lives. And about experiencing those, about paying attention to what's going on. And I think that that's one of the reasons why the visual style was so effective for me, why I was so drawn in. Because for a show about paying attention, the experimental style requires you to pay attention. You can't fall back on traditional visuals around how characters move, around how characters are standing in a room, all that stuff, because of the visual weirdness of this anime series. You're really rewarded for watching what's on screen, which is something I think a lot of us don't do anymore. So if I may sit down or stand up or whatever, get on a soapbox. I know a lot of anime fans who, when they watch anime, they're constantly distracted. They're constantly checking their phones, looking at Discord. They're on Twitter and Facebook and all these things while they're watching anime. And I'm not saying that I never do that. I'm not saying that I never pull up my phone while anime is on. But I think there is definitely a point at which people are not really paying that much attention to what's going on the screen. And Windy Tales is a show that punishes you for that. Not directly, but Windy Tales is all about the visuals. Really, the visuals are the selling point of this anime series because it's about experiencing those moments, experiencing those little things. And I also appreciate that Windy Tales knows how to be experimental, which is not it knows that it is an anime series. And it knows that it can present imagery to you that's not necessarily really what's happening on screen. There's an episode later on, which I won't spoil, where a character is sort of drifting in and out of normal consciousness, sort of drowsing, basically, and sees all these strange things. Not because there's literally, a giraffe going through the room or whatever, but because that's what the mind is like. That's what comes to your imagination as you're drifting in and out of sleep. And I found it to be an incredibly effective visualization of life, of slice of life, of the real things we actually experience, but done in a way that is that shows it to us, that foregrounds these experiences. Now, a lot of slices of life anime tend to be about nothing, where, yes, it's slice of life because it's just, a girl going to school and going back home from school and having inconsequential conversations. That's not what this is. These episodes, they're not about saving the world either, but seeing how the characters react to things, seeing what they talk about, seeing their character, their personality. That does happen in this anime series. That is what these episodes show you. Are these girls bouncing off of life, experiencing events and things in their lives and being shaped by them, and deciding what to do. Do you simply react? Do you fight back? Do you push? Are you pulled? And that's, I found to be rare in a lot of anime, especially modern anime. Older anime tended to be more about characters who are dealing with problems in their lives. And in a lot of slice of life series, nothing ever really changes. And while, again, the characters do not save the world exactly in this anime series, we are seeing them mature. We are seeing them go through experiences that will definitely inform them later in life. And it does this through the fantastical. It does this through a series that is not traditional, that is not where some strange things happen, some very strange things happen in this show. But that's just what it's like to watch, to be alive. Strange things can happen. And I love that this anime series is willing to use fantasy, use the fantastical, not fantasy in the sense of like swords and elves, but use fantastical things as a metaphor for growing up. A lot of the things that happen to us as teenagers feels very weird, feels strange, feels life altering, and so having something fantastical happen, fits that extremely well. So as you can tell, I really thoroughly enjoyed Windy Tales. It's not for everyone. It's an odd duck. And if you don't like odd ducks, you're probably not going to like Windy Tales. Overall, I found the voice acting perfectly effective. Pacing, editing, directing, all those things certainly worked well for me, but it's very distinctive. It is a little more experimental. This is a show that is trying to do something different and succeeds, not simply in being different, but in applying that difference to the story it's telling. And I love that, and I hope we get more of things like this. It's a Production IG special, not in the sense of like a OVA or anything, but a Production IG. It's an anime that Production IG was clearly making to be different, to try something out. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, this is an interesting one.